the new standard in the industry. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Nathan Clark, Domination Nation Gym. So I'm going to compare today the Prime/Strive plate-loaded chest press, flat chest press, versus the Prime/Strive plate-loaded incline chest press. Except I'm giving you the twist of showing you my modified, updated version of both of those machines. If you guys had these two machines or you tried them, you wouldn't be able to go without them in your gym, I promise you. If you guys been to most serious gyms, you'll recognize that a lot of gyms have these two machines. Like, a lot of serious gyms recognize the benefit of a Strive Prime technology, and they have these machines. But they don't have the version that I am going to show you that I believe is way better than the original. I challenge anybody from Prime to even come out here and try them. These would be absolute bestsellers if I wanted to make gym equipment. Like I said, you guys try these, you would not be able to go without these in your gym, I promise you. You know, Strive Prime brought into the industry years and years ago the idea of variable resistance. They brought to light strength curve technology and the ability to manipulate it. It's one of the things I've strived to do in my gym, is to manipulate almost every piece I have to make it so that it's optimal biomechanically for stimulating muscle tissue. There's a couple issues I believe with the current existing plate-loaded flat chest press and incline chest press from Prime. I'm going to show you some footage and give you my critiques, okay? All right, so here's the incline model. You can see the neutral grip this gentleman's using here. The neutral grip actually does afford better convergence than the pronated overhead hand grip. But look at the convergence is not ideal. I also want you to look at the relationship of this gentleman's pinky versus his thumb. See how it's level? That's not really ideal. Now, this dude is like, you guys know this guy, JP from online. He's super, super strong, crazy strong. He's got short arms, though. Look at how poor the convergence is. People with short arms, small torsos, the convergence is not ideal. Look at the handle angle, too. The handle angle is off. You got to use a thumbless grip. Otherwise, you get a ton of deltoid strain. This is the flat version. Again, this dude's crazy strong. But the flat version actually is even worse as far as convergence than the incline. I feel to look at where the weight ends in relation to gravity at the top range of motion. I doubt he's getting a full drop off at the top range of motion, especially with shorter arms. This dude's got longer arms. But what I noticed using this machine over and over and over, it didn't have an adequate drop off, and the stretch could be improved, which is why I'll show you what I added this extra horn. But the convergence, look on the flat. The issue is the handles are very pedestrian, and I don't think that the strength curve is fully optimized, as I'm going to show you. Part of the challenge with these pieces as is if you're a big guy, a big torso guy, the pieces work well. If you're a lady, if you're a smaller frame person, they're not ideal and optimal for lots of different reasons. All right, so I'm going to show you guys these two today. You can see what I've done with the handles. I'm going to show you a couple different things that you can do that make this absolutely phenomenal. So, as I just showed you, I want you to notice some of the handle angles I've added. See the difference in angle here between here and the underhand / internally rotated handle. I'll show you in a minute too. You can see the same thing on the flat. I mimicked the same exact angles, same exact trajectory on the angles on the flat that I did on the incline. So if you ever looked, or if you know any anatomy, most of you guys are kind of anatomy buffs. You know, like, how the pecs are oriented. So just a quick review video showing you the different heads. So the clavicular head, look at the angle of the fibers of the clavicular head and the angles of the sternal head. So the objective is to have handles that mimic the specific angle of the fibers of the pectoral. The costal head and the sternal head are really, the costal head is really more towards the bottom, which really helps you get that rounded bottom part, which is the majority of the pecs. So this is the key image. Look at from the side. See how the pecs are frontal plane. They rotate around the side. They wrap around the side. What you recognize and realize doing this for a while and playing around with angles, your pecs are 3D. Like, there's 3 dimensions. They fan out to the side. So there's a frontal plane rotation element to your pecs, and not just a sagittal and transverse plane. Every single handle I ever see on chest press only addresses the sagittal and or transverse plane, never the frontal plane. And I'm going to show you how I've addressed that. Big pecs has a ton to do with thoracic mobility. So the ability to do this, the ability to take your torso in this direction, in the frontal plane. And you want a chest press, you want handles, you want a machine that allows you to open up that torso on the stretch and come together on the contraction. So a lot of the reasons people can't develop their chest are they don't have good thoracic mobility. And one of the things I love to do with almost every chest press, including this one, is I use a pad. You can use the Godfather pad. I use this pad. I actually find it's a little better because it's longer. What it does is it forces you to open your torso and get that full stretch. When I use these, this is the most recent handle I added on this. You've seen I've done multiple modifications to this over time. I want you to notice, actually you can notice from this perspective, how the handle is not just straight horizontal. It actually comes up a little. So it follows the top pec fibers here and here. That not only is the handle longer to give you better convergence, better reach, and more comfortable handle, but it's angled a very specific way to open up your pecs in the frontal plane, particularly in the stretch. Massive difference from they use to use chest presses, from this angle to even this angle. And that's why the details of the handle angle are so crucial to assist you in stimulating your pecs and stimulating your muscles. I want to show you guys one cool trick. Those of you guys who have this machine that can make this like 10 times better. If you look at where the angle of the pad adjusts, you're going to notice at the very bottom there is this screw, this hex screw that goes in here. Take the screw out, detach this completely, and take this component out. What I want you to do is you're going to drill 2 extra holes in there. Take that component out and drill 2 extra holes on the bottom. Look at what this allows me to do. So on the incline, the very bottom angle right here is 32.5 degrees. I just measured it. And it only comes up to about 38 degrees. But I added these 2 holes. So guess what that top angle is? It's like 44, 45 degrees. So you're literally going from just like an incline chest press to a super incline chest press. It gives you the option just by drilling a couple extra holes. So check this out on the flat, like the very bottom setting on the flat, I just measured, it's 2 degrees. The very top setting normally is 6.5 degrees, but the 2 extra holes I added, it goes up to 11 degrees. Actually the same exact angle as the HQ line chest press, which is a phenomenal angle as I'm going to show you. The slight incline angle is absolute money to stimulate your chest. So it can be a flat chest press to a slight incline chest press, just by that one modification I showed you. All right, so this is the clavicular handle I added. You've seen I've done multiple revisions of this particular machine over the years. This is the final revision. This handle I knew was what I wanted to do. So because the handle is closer to the axis of rotation, you need to do less weight than normal. But the way the handle angle down, look at it from this angle. Look at the convergence I can get. Perfect convergence on this. And see how my pinky at the bottom of the movement ends below my thumb. And see how at the top of the movement, they more or less even out. In order to follow those fibers, the clavicular fibers, your pinky needs to be below your thumb. I mean, I can show you a similar thing on multiple other chest press machines I've revised. If that handle is just straight across transverse like it is on 98% of the chest presses, I'm like the clavicular pec stimulation is not ideal. You're going to recruit deltoids. You're not going to fully go along, parallel with the line of the fibers of the pec. So there's just another angle where you can appreciate the difference in hand position from the bottom to the top of the movement. So I mean, you can get at the very 45 degrees. I can almost do like a shoulder press with the 2 holes I added with this handle. It feels almost like a shoulder press sometimes if you want to make it that way. So then when I use these bottom handles I added, I drop the seat 1 or 2 levers, just a little bit, because it gives me a better angle to recruit lower pec. So I've showed this before. This is the original oblique handle I added. This would be the handle you would use most of the time to stimulate most of the costal and sternal pec fibers, because it follows along perfectly with those fibers. And because you see how it slightly angles down as well. It's a slight angle down in addition to following the fibers. So it's forcing at the bottom of the wound, again, for me to get that slight bit of frontal plane opening, which, again, when I use a pad behind my back, it forces me to do that. I mean, you're mimicking like a Perillo press. You're mimicking because the Perillo pads, as he showed originally. But this is just a money angle. Like, if you had access to this machine, you would not use the transverse or the neutral handles ever, because these other handles I've added are so good. You don't, the others are just kind of like, you wouldn't use them. So because these lower handles are actually a little further from the axis of rotation, you can use slightly bit more weight, and you would definitely want a pillow, sometimes even at the top setting behind your back, because it's going to converge better and it's going to stretch better. So these are the semi-supinated bottom handles. This semi-supinated grip, I've showed this before, but apparently it has not caught on in the industry yet, but this is absolutely freaking money. It feels so much better than a reverse bench press. And these are the internally rotated handles. This feels like a true push press. There's absolutely no strain on the deltoid whatsoever. It's so comfortable. So together, this is way more than just a traditional incline chest press. It's a, it's a push press. It's an underhand press. It's a super incline press with all these handle angles. And again, the addition of that horn really helps magnify the stretch and the taper much better than just the existing big number 3 horn. You just have to try it to see. So here's the flat. I almost exclusively only use the flat on that 11 degrees, that top hole, additional hole I drilled into the fixture to incline it more, because it hits so perfectly. So I get a crazy amount of, because of the way this handle right here is angled, I actually get a crazy amount of upper chest. I'm getting that clavicular fiber stimulation because of how it's opening me in the frontal plane. Again, notice the position of the pinky in relation to the thumb at the bottom. It's really slightly opening me up at the bottom. It's just crazy stimulus on this flat. So the flat, like I said, there's a slight bit less convergence than the incline normally, but the way I have it at the highest incline and 1 or 2 pillows behind my chest, behind my back, excuse me, really gives me perfect convergence. So you can see, just showing you the different settings. These machines are just made for big frame people. Like I said, that's the caveat. If you're a woman or you're small, like, it's just, your hands are gonna be way too wide. You're not gonna get enough convergence or stretch. So adding the pillow does help, and adjusting the angle helps tremendously. So this is that same money angle on the flat as I showed you on the incline. And again, you could use this as an incline chest press, like 11 degrees, you're getting great incline chest recruitment. I just can't tell you how comfortable this feels compared to the existing original handles. You can see a nice bit of convergence here. If you were to take a dumbbell and go into a position that felt the most comfortable to press with, it would be this hand position. Not prone and not neutral, but in between. And that's why I love these handles. So this is a drop set. So this is the way you can use it. Take some weight from the middle or bottom, add it to the very, very top. Now notice what I do. I'm actually gonna just hold a stretch. Like, you could just hold a bottom stretch, not even press. Just hold that bottom stretch and you get crazy, crazy stretch of the chest. But it allows you to get an amazing taper and squeeze, like a crazy squeeze on your pec on the very, very top. And then the semi-supinated handles actually work phenomenal on this. I'm just in love with this actual grip. I don't think I've seen another chest press with this grip on it, even though I'm the only one that's kind of advocating it. And I've certainly never seen anybody else advocate an internally rotated press grip. Takes the stress off of your shoulders, and it feels like a squeeze press. That's what's cool with it. And you absolutely will pound the lower costal fibers of your pec. So notice the orientation of the handle follows along those fibers. So similar to the incline chest, this is way more than just a flat or a slight incline flat. Like, you could have this chest machine by itself or the other chest machine by itself and not even really need any other chest machines in your gym, in all honesty. It's that versatile. Wow, that thing's crazy. Like, when I first started using this, with that newer handle, with all the new handles, but the upper handle, my chest was so sore. And I've been working out for years. I mean, as many of you guys have. But my chest was so crazy sore for like a week and a half because of the crazy stretch and stimulation following the exact path of those clavicular fibers of the pec. The cool thing is with this, so I'm just getting done doing a couple sets just for demonstration purposes. Have you ever had this like a cramp in your muscle? Like the beauty of this top horn, it allows you to shorten it in such a way to finish off the top. Like I got like my muscles are like crazy cramping right now. And it's like they're on fire because of the crazy contraction. Like until you've used a chest press or you're able to actually shorten the muscle completely, consummate with its regular strength curve, like you don't know what that crazy freaking like cramp feels like in the muscle when you can actually fully shorten it without having to recruit too much tricep or shoulder, and fully shorten it in an area where you're the weakest, which is the very, very top of the range of motion on a conversion chest press, as well as the very bottom. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. Appreciate your support. Have an amazing day.